talked to a lot of the guys this week, and this is the week where you take everything that you hear with media availabilities and guys talking and coaches. This week will show you a lot because you're going to try to do a pre-practice week. You got a third. You're if it were, I'm guessing
Hmm.
you're going to have a Thursday late practice. I
I
mean,
think he said scrimmage. I think they,
right. You got to go 8 to 11
yeah.
ish.
I think he said mock game
You
basically.
you you got to turn around and you're going to treat your Monday like a Monday, your Tuesday like a Tuesday, but you're tired of practicing.
Hmm.
People kind of roll their eyes. Oh, when's the coaching cliches? Oh, we're sick of hitting each other. It's real,
Yeah.
especially when you're there for 10, 11 hours.
Yeah. I mean, they're there all day.
Yeah.
Like it's
So
not.
so it's like this is the week where you're close, but you're not close enough to see the finish line.
Yeah.
So you gotta hang in there this week. There is no faking. You're done with camp. You're getting ready to start the regular routine. You're not. It's This is a barbecue or mildew week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say last week and this week I think are probably the worst weeks of camp.
So last week is cool
Is it?
because at least no, it's easy for me to
Yeah.
say because I'm here, but I have been through it.
Hmm.
The reason last week is not on par with this week
Yeah.
is because you still had Saturday's situational scrimmage.
To like look forward
So
to.
you're still seeing opportunity.
Okay.
Right now, you've got to dial in on is there movement on the depth chart? Can I make a
Like, do I still have time?
run? What does this week look like
Mm.
if I want to go from white to red and red to black?
Yeah.
There's only a couple of guys that I think can think about going from red to black, but if I'm going to go white to red or red all the time with the units or
Hmm.
whatever, like how much is in there? So you can't. But the reality of it is you can't worry about that.
Right.
You got to go to work.
But it's in the back of your head. You're like, is my
It's
chance
got to
to
be
move?
just human nature,
Yeah, just
right?
moving days, right?
Right.
Are limited
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah. This is Augusta on Saturday, but it's
Because once
basically all week.
because
It looks like Augusta.
because once you
Looks
get
like Augusta.
to next week, it's like, hey, it's game prep.
Yeah, you're set. You're
Like,
set.
We've got our
You're getting your
ones and
guy. You're
twos.
getting your guys ready.
Yeah.
And so
So how does that work in season, right? Because there is some movement in season.
there is, but
Is that
it's
mostly like off of gameplay or injuries, or how does that go?
so you probably now it depends on the staff.
Sure,
So
sure,
it's
sure.
ain't like DB said, so it is.
Just
But
in your experience.
it, you typically have to play your way out of, or coaches go in with the notion that hey, I'm watching this development,
Like, hey,
so
maybe
they're
this guy's not
cognizant of it.
solid.
It's hard to just flash,
Sure.
but it does happen.
Okay.
But I do think if this were me, and this is probably them too. It's probably most coaches where you have guys that you think, okay, they're maybe not the 28th,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe they're the 21st or whatever the 4 Saturdays from now is.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that going in.
Okay. So like in your mindset, you're like, hey, I think
You're
Keelan
cognizant
Smith
of
might
it.
be ready by week 4.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Or,
So you're keeping an eye
if
on
I'm already in a rotational guy, like if I am Keelan Smith
Mhm.
and I am in a rotation already, it's like, okay, who can I catch?
Yeah. Like, who can I chase down?
Yeah, and that's kind of how you think about it. And if you're like, let's say in that black group, then
Mhm.
you're thinking, how can I not get ran down?
Yeah.
Right? Because I do like, how can I say? I do like the temperament that some guys are taking. Right? I look at a guy like Sierra Wright.
Mhm.
Right? He's wearing number 1, and he shuts down his social media, and there's a lot fewer posts, and he's got this pretty sweet hair. Like Sierra cut his hair.
Mm.
Sierra Wright cut his
That's a big deal for him.
hair.
Yeah.
Like what's that have to do with winning? Nothing,
Yeah,
but
and
everything.
Yeah.
Right? And like so now is the time where it's like if I'm where they think I am, it's about refinement and continue to develop trust. If I'm on the frontal lobe, but not quite in the mix,
Mhm.
I need what more can I do? Because I think it's becoming clear Like I don't know, man. I gunned ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Not even gunned ahead. Maybe the threat of waterboarding, I could come up with a two deep.
For the
Yeah,
for the whole squad.
yeah.
Okay.
So and
Some places are reasonably easy, others are harder.
yeah, I don't. So where would you think is reasonably easy?
Running back. Now the second's harder.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think the second's harder.
I'm not even about to get on the hype train, but
I'm just saying. I think 1-2 is pretty easy.
I, yeah, okay.
I mean,
Sure,
I like
sure,
Mosey a lot.
sure,
I
sure,
like Mosey a lot. I
sure.
think Nelson's ahead of
Yeah, I got no problems with
him.
that. I know there's a guy today I felt, like if you asked me this morning, like there's a guy that I think I don't know. I get the one is established,
Yeah.
but if this two is anything like he practices,
Mm-hmm.
oh, man, dude's pretty good.
You talking about Ives?
No,
Okay. But he just came back. That's why.
no,
Okay.
no. I'm talking about Mackay.
Oh, that's who my 2 is. That's
Listen to what I'm saying though.
okay.
Instead of listening to respond, listen to
I'm trying
understand.
to listen to what you're saying.
I'm saying between 2 to 1, not
Oh,
one
gotcha,
and
gotcha,
two.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I get the clear cut thing, but well, best run of the last 72 hours was had by Nelson,
Yeah.
and it was yeah.
I think I mean, I said this after the open practice, like, and you've said this the whole time. Mackay's the best runner
I would agree.
of the group,
I would agree.
right? I think
I'll put it to you like this, because if I was talking to another like running back,
Mhm.
there would be like we'd be peeling onions.
Yeah.
So I'll say this and keep it simple. He's the most electric
Yeah.
of the bunch.
Fair.
There's different nuances to being a complete runner,
Sure.
but he's by far and away the most electric.
And then Emmett brings
I,
some
I
other
called him.
things to the
I called
table,
him this
but
morning. He sent me the voicemail. So clearly I'm not. I'm not who I think I am. So don't listen to me about anything.
No, I think so. I mean, if we're going outside of running back, I think if we're what are we saying? 6 for the 2 deep and wide receivers or 4?
No, I think you
You
got
got
to
to
be
go
in the
6, right?
rotation. So I think you got to get anywhere from 6 to 8. I mean, you run two. Like let's say you run two verticals.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably coming out,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I
So I think you have to look at it like that.
So I think I know who my first. I feel pretty good about my first 6. Who those
Okay.
guys are?
Who would you guess?
I would guess Key,
Okay.
Barney.
Okay.
I think Hunter's still in there.
Okay.
Keelan, Bonner, and then I guess I'm not sure who the 6th would be.
I'd probably say Clark before
Clark.
Bonner.
Okay.
Or Clark before Keelan.
Okay. But those are my top 6 then.
Okay.
I don't know who 7, 8 is. I don't know what order some of those 6 are in, but I feel like those are my top 6 receivers.
So those are so running back, obviously quarterback.
Yeah, I mean we don't know who 2 is necessarily.
Although 2 is interesting.
So that's why I didn't bring up quarterback is because Dana just said
you guys thought I was blowing smoke about Latif after spring because that spring was one of those deals where I felt like were people watching what I was watching because I didn't feel like there was enough Latif deal because we looked too much at the end result. Was it incomplete or was it complete? That's not what I was looking for.
Yeah.
From TJ, I told you what's the one thing I like about him emotionally.
Pretty steady.
Man, dude's got some poise.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about him, and I'm not comparing him to Gramstad because, Gramstad's one of my favorites. But the thing that I liked about Latif is he auto-corrected in a hurry.
Mm.
He went from a guy that was happy to be there, taking pictures on IG and Snapchat, first 12 days of being in Lincoln, to
like, hey, time to go to work.
Yeah. So, he auto-corrected in a hurry.
So and this is easy to say now, so it doesn't matter. But like when I saw him at the open practice, which is really the only time I've seen him.
My elbow is shot. Go ahead.
I like how he looks. Now, Rhule is the starter, so it doesn't really matter as
It does
much
matter though. I mean,
to
the
most
Dylan
people.
was the last guy to start every game of the season in
Yeah.
the last 6 years. So
He had the ankle last
it
year that
does
got a
matter.
little banged up, you know. But they also had said at that point that like, hey, Jalen's our two. So I was like, okay, maybe they're just kind of trying to bring on TJ
Graham said,
slowly.
I mean, it's a good option.
It seems like so. I don't know if the coaches actually do this. The announcers and media say they do this a lot. So you can tell me if this is true or not. It seems like sometimes coaches have a hey, if a guy goes down in the game, this is the backup. If we need a guy for 2 or 3 games, this is the backup. Is that a real thing?
Immediacy versus getting ready. That's probably a thing.
Okay. Because in
Is
my
that a thing for quarterbacks? I don't know. That's legit.
because in my
I'm
head,
I'm that's they may be two different things for these guys.
I thought, oh, if he goes down in game, Jalen Gramstad comes in, knows what he's doing, he gets you through the rest of the game. And then if you've got a week to prepare, it's probably
I'll
TJ.
ride with that. Although
And
it's
that's
at least it's open for discussion.
yeah,
Because I'm not sure Gramstad would play his way out of it. It's just well, it's what I was talking about with where you are on the depth
the
chart.
upside part.
No,
Oh,
usually if you come back to the pack, it's probably what you didn't do versus being ran down.
sure. Yeah.
Gramstad's not going to give it away. You got to run him down.
So that's the thing with
You got to run Gramstad down. He's not going to give you anything.
that does seem like a situation though where the two could get run down just from a
But
talent
quarterback
standpoint.
is hard though.
Yeah.
It's not the same as like going out and make a play, right? Like if I got a guy that can make a couple of catches or has a couple of runs, and you're thinking, oh shoot, man, is that for real? Can you repeat that? Let me give you another opportunity to see that.
Yeah.
It's not that easy for quarterbacks.
Right.
Like you can spin one ball
There's too
pretty
much else
sweet, and
going
you're
on.
like, oh my god, man, look how he threw that little in cut.
But if he messes, like we saw,
And then then he misses on a speed out, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. But once you see
yeah.
from a skill guy, it's like,
Well, and you can protect a skill guy a little bit more too, right? Like if you've got a receiver, you're like, oh, I know he's really good at these couple things. You can put him into those couple things.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
a quarterback, you can't protect them.
It's the totality
right.
of it.
And we see it all the time. It's like, oh, this guy throws an incredible ball, but it's like, oh, and then Anthony Richardson messed up his protection again, so he got killed.
Yeah.
Like, so I get that with quarterback. That makes sense. I do find.
I think's gonna be interesting.
What's that?
Is defensive line.
Yeah, I'll be honest. As much as I like the defensive line, I think I know who the top 8 are.
But that'd be all you need. Like if you know that, you might be well ahead of Coach Braden. I don't know if he knows that.
I don't know the order.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
I mean, okay, so like defensive line. I mean, you got Van Poppel. That's the easy one. I think Lenhart, Keona Davis. I think
Judy.
We love us some Elijah Judy. Congrats on graduating, young man.
Isn't that something? Something?
Got a whole family. Like, good for him. I'm so happy for him. Legitimately.
This is weird.
Yeah.
You know what I like about that whole deal?
Which part?
And Coach Rhule probably doesn't bat an eye at it because it happens to him a lot. I can't imagine texting T.O. And maybe it's a different time and era.
Yeah.
But there are some college coaches that I look at and I'm like, do you even know your players? Like I can't like if I'm Jackson Arnold, am I texting Hugh Freeze?
Probably not.
Did you hear Hugh Freeze talk about his quarterbacks this weekend?
I hear Hugh Freeze talk about anybody at any time.
So I don't know if Jackson Arnold is like, hey man, coach, I really appreciate this opportunity. Graduate, like I don't know if I could see that. Yeah. So I don't want to let myself off the hook by saying it's a generational thing because even in this generation, I don't know.
I think it's more rare than maybe we appreciate.
But I bet a lot of guys do Coach Rhule like that. I bet you he could pick up the phone.
Because you'd have done Coach Solich like that, right?
If I still would have been scared, like, and I love him.
Yeah.
Like love.
Like you were much closer to Solich than
like love.
Yeah.
And I still would have been scared. Now there came a time, I don't know what the turning point was, where I would say, hey man, love you. You guys saw him this weekend. It's like just to see him kind of in his element and content and have peace. At 50, I can say, hey man, whatever. And
Mhm.
some of that is just maturation.
Yeah.
But I don't know if at any point during our relationship of player coach would I have hit him up.
Okay. Fair.
And I spent like, I mean, he had us over, like, we spent a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
And it's just a different time.
Yeah. The player coach dynamic was a little bit
It's
more
just a different time.
separated, it
But
felt like.
like, Judy's not, like, Coach Rhule isn't even his position coach.
Yeah. He does spend a lot of time with the D line, though. We know that.
No, I'm well aware.
So, you know.
Remember, Judy got off to the slow start. We mumbled a lot of negative things under our breath about
Oh, this
Judy.
guy from Texas A&M.
Yeah,
Come
we
on.
mumbled a lot of things under our
4-star
breath.
SEC. What is this? How come he's not playing?
So
Yeah.
I don't want to take any of that for granted and say that's just what kids do now.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, and I'm sure he got permission,
Sure. Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm like that. That's how this team. I get the talent. I get always need better players and the just win guys, but you need a little bit of that in today's college football where, 4th and 2 or 3rd and 4, or, it's 1st and 20 after a bad penalty where there's something about the way that you respect and treat your brothers helps you recalibrate in high leverage situations that isn't just talent related.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me?
Yeah.
It's like there's got to be something else.
Yeah.
It's just like being in a relationship, man. How other centered you are pretty much dictates what you're willing to put up with.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
And it a lot of times it can dictate how you deal with high leverage situations.
Yeah.
Right? So and that's in an everyday small close space proximity. Imagine being out here in the wilderness.
Yeah.
With 120 some 115 some fellow brethren.
I do think, people, especially around here, kind of will roll their eyes or poo-poo that a little bit sometimes. But I think about the NFL, right? The talent discrepancy on any given NFL roster is not enormous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some bad teams every year. There's some good teams every year. But if we're talking generally speaking, the talent discrepancy between 1 and 30 or 3 and 30 or 1 and 32 is not that big,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we have to be talking about something else when you're talking about the good teams versus the bad teams. There's a reason we cannot like the Steelers roster 8 out of 10 years and they still pretty much produce the same results,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's a reason I can look at Andy Reid and be like, whoever he has at quarterback, it's probably going to be okay, right? So there's whatever, and some of that's tactical, some of that's technical. So I'm sure a lot of that, though, is maybe emotional is not the right word.
Why couldn't Carolina repeat in '96, the Panthers, what they did in '95, even though they had 2 better players on their roster via free agency?
They didn't
Right?
like each other that much.
You inherited Michael Barrett. Yeah, like something clearly was amiss, right?
I mean, it's pretty famously Kerry Collins was hard to get along with.
But was pretty good right before that.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
When
yeah.
they're playing Dallas and the playoffs the year before, it's like, oh, okay, we might have something. But that's the whole pressure and diamonds versus pipes
Mm-hmm.
and barbecue or mildew. You need something other than talent.
Than just being good. That was our question about Ohio State last year, right?
Yeah.
Early.
Oh, and
even like
I still don't think that was misdiagnosed.
I don't either.
I think everybody in Columbus knows it was something.
I think they figured it out.
Now, or maybe they were just good enough over time to overcome it, or
Sure.
maybe somebody or somebody's acquiesced,
Yeah.
and kind of peeled back. But I mean,
the
whole Knowles Johnson, like they're clearly that dynamic was different.
Yeah, it didn't seem quite perfect fit right at the start.
So this is an interesting week, because guys won't get as many pep talks audibly.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's
like down to business time.
Yeah, and you have to be secure enough to understand. Man, you talked to me every 10 minutes last week, man. What's changed? Now, hopefully the coaches, it won't be so drastic.
Like they've communicated that.
Like their sphincters
already.
puckering up.
Yeah.
Because you don't want anybody to be, like, I don't want to be super different next Wednesday than I am from this Wednesday with the guys where they feel like, oh shoot, man, we play tomorrow.
Yeah.
But there is a progression of buttoning it
Like
up.
dialing in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, some of the guys say yesterday, it's like there's no faking going to work now.
Yeah.
There isn't. You either want to be there and you understand what's on the line or you don't. And it has an uncanny way of it like reveals itself. Like it's such a humbling game. And if you respect the game, it'll respect you back. It doesn't result in wins and losses, but it will treat you well over time. It will treat you well over time if you respect the game.
I mean, it kind of does result in wins and losses. Not directly.
Not directly. It doesn't, because you have this reverence for the sport and going to work and being diligent about your craft, doesn't mean you rack up W's tomorrow.
No. There's other things, right? Like there's a minimum level of ability.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's, Coach Rhule talked
he gave a beautiful example. I laughed my head off.
Yeah.
But he kept it a buck. He was talking about the difference between, goal setting and kind of having dreams and want to, and pitting it against or pairing it with skill level and development. He said, listen, I'm a walk-on linebacker at Penn State. Dream school at the time. I'm a Northeastern guy. He said nobody wanted to be an All-American linebacker more than Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule was short on some things to connect those dots into getting to be an All-American. He said, so the understanding and the blending of maximizing what you're capable of versus what those dreams are, at some point, they may not meet. It's how you handle that disconnect that ultimately dictates your future. I felt like that was pretty profound, right? He gave a beautiful example of his son going to business school but not liking math. It's like, look, man, you don't like math. Like, that's not your thing. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good idea.
You got to figure something else out.
And I said, Coach, how are you going to kill his spirits? I'm a realist. That's why I married Julie Rhule. She can handle that part. It's the greatest thing I ever heard.
Go Big Red.
It's the greatest thing I ever heard.
Yeah.
Right? Because it told me a couple things. Fill in the gaps with where you're weak.
Yeah.
Understand strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
And keep it a buck.
It's like how he puts together his coaching staff.
He did all three in just like a little 60 seconds. So it's like, sometimes I tell people, like, not everybody is a leader. Sometimes you have to be a good follower.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound cool to say out loud.
Like, I'm a great follower.
Sometimes, but you know what? Everybody
you need great followers.
You need great followers.
You need great followers.
Right?
Like how many times?
Not everybody's gonna be a Uyghur. You need a Zatiska. I can't use Sty because they'd have probably fought each other. But you can't use Graham either. But I can't use any of those guys. I'll use Zatiska because he was the most good natured.
Yeah.
Like naturally good natured.
Yeah.
Not everybody can be that alpha. Now there's a few of them that are capable.
Yeah.
But at what point do I slot myself accordingly?
Yeah.
And be good with it without losing your competitiveness.
Like genuinely good with
it.
Not just like, I guess I have to take a back seat to this guy.
You want them to be able to step on the gas against Cincinnati and drop hammer on Akron and Houston Christian and not go belly up against Michigan. You're going to be amazed. It won't have much to do with talent. It's going to have a lot to do with temperament. Mark my words. It's not going to have the talent discussion a ton. And that's not to say that this roster is perfect. It's just we haven't been talking about talent a lot during this woeful stretch. We knew we needed better players, but then the games actually unfold, and we belittle Nebraska. We never talk about how good the opponents were. So as long as we still do that, then apparently it's not a talent discussion. Unless you need to change your narrative when we're busy critiquing and narrating and bitching and moaning about how the games went.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and I can't really sit here and I think we talked about this during the season last year. I can't really sit here in good conscience and be like, okay, the talent was they didn't look less talented when they lost to Ohio State.
I mean, the same team played in Columbus that did in Bloomington, right? Okay.
Like those look like two different teams, but the talent was the same each week, right?
That's temperament.
So I can't sit here and say, hey, that looked
first half Colorado is the same as second half Colorado, right?
As far as I know.
Yeah, it's temperament.
Yeah.
Now, I do like a couple of the things Colorado did different, but people I feel like people look back at that game and they complain about the second half, and I'm like, you guys have never played before. Because that happens when you're learning how to win. It's not something you bitch about. It's something you try to grow from.
Also, we kind of poo-poo the fact that Colorado was pretty good last year.
But yeah,
they ended up being pretty good last year.
So I'll rock with you on that. But what I don't like doing is that's not controlling the controllables.
No, it's not. But it is a factor.
I don't want it.
I don't.
100%. I'm not gonna discount that. But I'm also not letting.
I'm
not letting us off the hook
for sure
for how we got to handle it.
Yes.
Right. Which is ironically how you try to it's how you try to manage mistakes too, right? Or the positives.
Mm-hmm.
Where if the immediacy, let's say, I make a bad decision, and one of the things that will be natural for people to want to do is they'll talk about the extenuating factors that led to the decision.
Mm-hmm.
All those things may be true.
And may have impacted.
The decision making. Doesn't let you off the hook.
Yeah. I was watching.
It doesn't.
I was actually watching this.
That's how games go too.
Yeah.
Hey, that guy. It just. At the end of the day, you got to control what you can control.
It's funny that we ended up talking about this. I was watching. Something popped up on my TikTok yesterday, and it was an interview with this psychotherapist, psychologist, whatever. And he's talking about, the guy asked him a question. Hey, how do you draw the line between this is one of the reasons this happened and taking responsibility for the thing that happened,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he's like, identifying the circumstances forces you to take responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an excuse. Some people try and use it as one, right?
Man.
But identifying
shout that for the people in the back.
Like identifying the circumstances of the situation forces the responsibility onto you.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you do with it is up to you. But those are not one or the other. That was the psychologist's point, right? Because the question was framed like, how do you take circumstances versus responsibility? And he says, no. It's circumstances forces responsibility.
100%.
Right? So I can sit here and say, oh, well, this didn't happen and this didn't happen and this didn't happen. But at the end of the day, like the responsibility still has to land on me because those are I made those choices after I already knew what the circumstances were.
Like on a day-to-day relationship level, that's kind of the blaming, complaining, deflecting thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? But there's also the counter thing where you can state a truth
mm-hmm.
that somebody else has to own, but that doesn't mean you're letting yourself off the hook either.
Yes.
Like those things definitely happen all the time. We were talking about run fits yesterday
mm-hmm.
over dinner, right? And cover 2, we're talking about guys corners squatting.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some corners that safeties like to fit behind into. There are some corners that don't. Hey, some corners, when they're contained and they got to replace, they're square, they attack the line of scrimmage, they don't give ground, it makes my fit a lot easier. There are some other corners, hey, man, they're 2 to 3 yards off. They're a little tentative. They eventually get there, but they don't set. And I'm talking to Caleb, like at the end of the day, who's the onus on being the alley runner?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's mine. Well, okay, there's ways that you'd like for that guy to play, and that can be true too.
Yes. He can make your life easier or harder.
That can be true too, but at the end of the day, you've got a place to be. So if you're ever asked, hey, on this fit on crack replace out of 2, what happened to the force? It can't start with what someone else did.
Mm-hmm. Like, hey, I didn't do this,
right?
Or I didn't see this.
And it's just it's kind of unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of unnatural.
Well, nobody likes feeling that way.
Well, it's hard too because again, take it from someone that has to do it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of times where you want to say, yeah, but And you have to learn lots of little tricks to deal with that. Remember,
Mhm.
I told you one key to autocorrect real time is instead of saying but, say and.
Mhm.
Right? Just there's a big difference between but and. Or like if you text me and you hit me with dot dot dot, I know you're not riding. There's something coming.
Yeah, there's like a hesitancy. There's
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 something
another
coming,
shoe to
right?
drop.
I'm
Something.
like, no, just like all this other stuff can be true,
Yeah.
but then there's this. So with this team, it's going to be interesting because as you have these young guys that come on,
Mhm.
right, and because they're breeding this thing of competition, at some point, for as well as is let's say, for as well as like Dylan Rogers is playing,
Mhm.
right, which by the way is still going to be a very good call on your part. For as well as like Dylan
Yeah.
Rogers is playing, there's still a McCullough, there's still an Ochoa, there's still a
I mean, Mav Noonan's playing
there's
well.
there's still a McGahee,
Mhm.
right? Where I have to decide, even if I'm in addition to,
Mhm.
is that dictating my behavior? And if it doesn't, and I practice in such a way, imagine what would happen if I need a 4th and 2 stop,
Mhm.
right? I mean, Soares becomes he's over the line of scrimmage, and I'm on those sidelines as Ochoa or McCullough or Rogers or whomever isn't in the game,
Mhm.
and I'm riding with the guy that's in the game because of the same desired outcome. How whether we succeed at that 4th and 2 stop or we don't sets the course for how you situationally do life. The more you can repeat that behavior, the better chance you give yourself at a chance for success. It's not foolproof, but it works more often than it doesn't.
Mhm.
That's why we lose to Iowa. That's why we get beat by Minnesota.
Because they're good at that.
They're good at that.
Yeah. I hate that.
They're really, really good at that.
Mhm.
And you,
we haven't been.
because what happens when it goes south or it doesn't go the way we want to, it's almost like, man,
Everybody
what's
starts looking
this?
around.
And then it's him, and he should have did this, and guy doesn't make a play. Well, I should have been in there. Like
Mhm.
again, take it from. I like to use myself so you don't feel like I'm talking at you. I'm talking with you.
Mhm.
Like at some point, I got to be able to say, hey, man, LP, man, go get that 3rd and 6,
Mhm.
as opposed to, early on it was, well,
I could have got that 3rd and 6.
who can't run 47 dive against an over front? Like, your boy could do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it was like that.
Yeah.
But the more you get out of that, it's I don't know. It's just for this team this year, and every team will be different as you get older
Mhm.
or you get different talent in different places. For this team this year, that's going to be the catalyst. How they can manage being other centered in nut cutting time, because they're not going to be good enough yet
Mhm.
to just run roughshod. But how do I play with a 14-point lead versus playing down 14? Does that look and feel different to me? If it doesn't, you're on the right track. If it does, you got work to do.
Can I ask? This might sound like a dumb question, but I mean it genuinely. Do you? I know you want to get your talent to a point where theoretically it could just overwhelm people, right?
Yeah,
But you never
that's
really,
pretty myopic.
but you never really want that to be the case, right? In terms of like the temperament of your team,
Yeah, 100%.
right? Like obviously you want the talent to get to that point, but you never want the temperament to get to that
Yeah.
point, right? Like
I thought one of the greatest assets,
even though it might work out sometimes.
one of the reasons, and I'm just using Coach Solis because he was here this weekend, but I thought one of his greatest assets was, for whatever the reason, nobody was ever outside of the storytellers like Rozier,
Mhm.
who will probably lament that he was the man and had it pretty good. Um, he always had this way of making you feeling uncomfortable about being good, because you always got the sense it was never good enough.
Mm.
Because the culture is there's always more in there. So yeah, you want elite talent,
Yeah.
but to your point, you don't ever want you to think that you're so elite that there's no more room for growth. Like you got to be able to coach LP just as hard as you're coaching Brian Knuckles,
Mm.
right? And it doesn't. it doesn't seem like that should be that hard to do.
Oh, it is
But
though. We see it with
believe
good
me,
players all
it
the time.
is ridiculous. Like,
We see it with good players in high school a lot.
do you want to know who it's hard to coach as a good player? As a really good player? Braylon Warren.
Yeah.
Braylon Warren. Really, really good. And sometimes I saw it just this weekend.
Mhm.
It's not even his drill. But the standard is the standard. We're conditioning. I told him, listen, I wanted to kiss him on the forehead.
Mhm.
So B-Dub is a guy that's really good natured. Does a lot of good things. He receives things pretty well. So he's hard to get on.
Mhm.
But he needs to be coached hard.
Mhm.
So we're doing a conditioning drill for kick coverage. But it's butt side avoid, sprint, shock, shed, get rid of. We do it the length of the field. It's a miserable drill. So quarterbacks all of a sudden decide to hop in. And I don't think Braylon was super sure on what to do,
Okay.
right?
Because they're not typically in the drill.
No.
Okay.
No.
So understandable that he may not.
So he was a little, and I caught it out of my periphery, but probably wasn't moving as fast. And so one of the coaches, knowing that Braylon needs to be coached hard,
Mhm.
went in. And it almost seemed over the top.
Mhm.
But, I mean, stuff happens fast, and so he gets jumped
Mhm.
immediately. The next handful of times, it's like you look at what he's doing, and he's like sprinting his brains out
Mhm.
because now he knows what he's doing. And I'm thinking to myself, man, a year ago, this would have turned into, well, I didn't, and I wasn't sure,
Mhm.
and well, he did this, and because that's how it goes, right? As
Mhm.
you're learning to mature. I went over to him and I said, you know what? I said, that's real leadership. There's lots of things you could have said in the meantime.
Mhm.
My man said,
And it would have been true.
to your point,
That's the hard part, right? They're true.
what he would have said
Would have been accurate.
would have been absolutely accurate.
Yeah. Because he didn't know what he was doing. He's
But-
not usually
but-
in the drill.
But at the end of the day,
He made a choice to be in the drill.
he knew he needed to go harder.
Yeah.
The more we can do things like that, the more when he doesn't receive harsh criticism, or you want somebody to get on somebody, or somebody else to be held accountable, you internalize it different.
Mhm.
You just do.
Yeah.
Because you've made good deposits, right? There's real equity in there for when you need to go make a withdrawal.
That's why, by the
Problem is people try to make withdrawals
way, without putting the money in.
without putting anything in. That's when it gets hectic.
That's why, by the way, the Elijah Judy stuff matters. Because if you're Matt Rhule and Elijah Judy can text you, and you can, parade's probably not the right word, but allow him to walk through the facility in his graduation gown with his family and be proud of himself as a person.
As a first-time graduate in the family.
First-time graduate in the family. He's got his wife there. He's got his son there. I believe his parents were with him.
My man is playing college football as a pup.
Yeah.
In a new place. Coming from A&M to here with a fam, and we're like critiquing his performance.
And but here's why that I bet now, or through this whole time, like Coach Rhule, Coach Braden, whoever it is, they can coach Elijah Judy hard because those deposits have been made. Like that's what we're talking about. Like that's why the graduation and the texting and the facility
You want to
matters.
really land the plane?
Yeah.
Because for whatever the reason we used Judy last week, we were talking about D-line and holding each other accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I said, and then there's a guy like Judy who we kind of laughed at the spring games and the mechanical bull riding.
Mm-hmm.
Why was I so tickled to see Judy put himself out there to get on a mechanical bull and embrace the grind, be loving on Van Poppel and Harburg and these guys trying to learn what they know and how they think and what their experiences are so he can better understand where they're from.
Relate.
And he absorbed it. Some people call it assimilation. Doesn't always have to have a negative connotation. Yeah. But sometimes we need to assimilate, right? Just to make sure we understand what else is going on around us. That's why things like that matter. Because if he's not willing to do that and put himself out there and make himself uncomfortable and be this big 300-pound guy that gets on this little itty bitty thing and
Do something he's
put the
never
little
done
thing in his mouth
before.
and do something he's never done
Yeah.
before and know that he's not going to be perceived in some kind of way by his peers, I guarantee you it makes it easier to send that text and to say, hey, you can use me as an example because I want these guys to know all about me and know what I've been through and to know that it's okay to be appreciative, right? I listen to Sierra Wright talk to some of these younger guys about definition of real men, well, how he views it, and that's his, but he'll say things like, a real men can make themselves vulnerable, understand their emotions without becoming emotional. And I'm like, I know this son of a gun stole that from me, but it's not about me because I took it from Coach
Rhule.
Coach Rhule.
Yeah.
Right?
Because he said it right to our faces immediately.
He goes, listen, man, at some point we got to learn to have emotions and harness them without being emotional. That's when we'll start to win close games. So when you see Sierra Wright loving on other younger DBs, teaching them the same philosophy, again, not sure if you go from 7 to 10 wins or 9, but I know you put yourself in a lot better situation.
Give yourself a chance.
Because you can do that. Because it's now coming, it's not secondhand anymore. It's peer to peer. That's how this team, that's the best chance they're going to give themselves.
I've seen a lot of teams in this conference win 9 and 10 games that weren't as talented as this team. It's because of this other stuff we're talking about, right?
In this conference, in this landscape of college football with freedom of movement and coaches outwardly saying they lost locker rooms because of money and things like this. And we'll get into this after we take this break with guys we perceived, Coach Rhule, I think he was asked about the Pritchett question. We'll come back with that, but he's got to listen to how he answered it. And that's really all you need to know on how we should handle it. As opposed to being able to say, oh man, NIL this and Pritchett that, and he's not this. And because that's what we do, right? We always find the negative.
Yeah.
Listen to how the question was actually answered in terms of what it means for this team. Not just Pritchett, but what it says about this team and what Pritchett brings to the table and how you move forward without condemnation.